Hey everyone, so I just wanted to give you some update of what we're gonna do next with the car. The next thing we're gonna do are spark plugs. We have not done spark plugs on this car on this channel yet. We've done a bunch of other stuff numerous times, but spark plugs is one of those things we've kind of neglected. Not neglected, they've been done. So quick backstory, when I bought this car in 2020, before the market went crazy, lucky me, I did the pre-purchase inspection, the PPI, pre-purchase inspection. And in the pre-purchase inspection, you know, the car was good, it was solid, but little things need to be replaced like the drive belt, the motor mounts, things that wear because of age. So while I was doing that, I also got all the fluids changed, I got the PDK service done, I got the transmission service done, front differential done, and I said, hey, let's go ahead and do the plugs too. So I used my local independent dealer that I've been using, and they know the car very well. Actually, the only ones that have touched the car, except for maybe one or two other times. And so they replaced all the plugs. Didn't think anything of it. So recently I was just watching videos on YouTube, watching other people's, I love to watch other people's content just like some people like to watch mine. I wish more of you guys would like my content, but that's tomato tomato. But it's okay. So I was watching some videos and I stumbled upon a video for, I think it was for spark plugs. Anyways, long story short, when I installed the Pfister exhaust on this, I did it the hard way. So when we do the plugs, I'm gonna show you, not only am I gonna show you the plugs, I'm gonna show you how to remove your side mufflers the easy way. Now, I know there's plenty of people who've done spark plugs, and you can go in the videos and watch a gazillion videos, and you'll see how they get the special extensions, and they've got their arm up like this, and they're like getting it behind the heat shield, and some remove the heat shield, some don't remove the heat shield. We're gonna do it the easy way. It may take longer, but we're gonna do it the easy way. You can do all this without jacking the car, but we're going to jack the car up. We're gonna remove the rear bumper cover and bumper. We're gonna remove the heat shields, both the side mufflers and the heat shield over the plugs themselves. And we're gonna do everything step by step so you guys can follow me along. And then we're gonna change the plugs. The plugs were actually surprisingly cheap. I was shocked at their price. So I went ahead and ordered them from my favorite place, FCP Euro. I actually basically got the plugs for free because I had a credit with them. So I just paid the shipping and I got a free set of plugs. So the plugs have been in this car about 40,000 miles or so. But since I first got these plugs installed, the car was stock. And since then, we've installed Pfister side mufflers, Sharkworks center pipe, GIAC ECU tune, K&N filter, and we've put about 40,000 miles on the car in 3 years, which I should be doing more than that. So I think it's probably a good time to change the plugs. Another little side effect that I'm having as well is in the morning when I first start the car the first time, it revs up like normal and it cools down. When it comes down, and this is kind of a side effect from the ECU tune, I'll explain that in a second. When it idles down, it'll idle and kind of stumble for a second. In like maybe a few seconds, it'll idle down, idle up, idle down for just a few seconds, and then it stabilizes. Why I say it may be the ECU tune is because there's no airflow going over the mass airflow sensor at that time, or very little minimal air going over the mass airflow sensor. So it's trying to figure out what's the right fuel air mix. And because there's no airflow coming into the engine other than just regular ambient air, I think it gets confused. And I think that's because of the GIAC, I'm just gonna say ECU tune. I think that's the ECU tune. With the stock tune, it's a little more conservative. So I think the stock tune pumps a little more extra fuel in there at the beginning when the car is cold, so you don't have that. It's just my theory. I can't prove it one way or another, but we're just gonna change plugs. One thing I've done to kind of help that is I've also put fuel injection cleaner in there every so often, and that seems to work as well too. It seems to help, but so as far as lowering the car, I don't know. The car looks really, really good the way it is. It's sitting just right. Last week we got brand new rear tires. Front tires have plenty of life in them left. By the time the front tires wear out, the rear tires will be worn as well. And maybe then I'll make the purists happy. Because maybe then, depending on the time of year, we'll go to full summer and full winter tires. Right now I'm running Continental DWS 06 Plus all-season tires. The purists are gonna hate me for that because I'm running the wrong size on the rear. But if you guys don't know what tire size to run, or if you're contemplating it, the best thing you can do is go to like tire size calculator and just Google it, and you can put in there your OEM size and a size you want. And you can play with the numbers so that you get as close as possible or almost exactly the same revolutions per minute, and it'll tell you what your speedometer is going to be, it'll tell you what your revolutions per minute is going to be, and you want to get a tire size that's almost identical to the specs on your OEM tire if you're not using an OEM tire. I did that with the BBS CHR wheels when I bought because they were bigger wheels. They're 19 by 12s instead of 19 by 11s. So I had a 325 tire on there, and I had to figure out exactly what was the right size tires to put on those wheels so it doesn't upset the car, the speedometer, etc. Same thing here. So front tire is the OEM size. Rear tire on this is, I should be running a 305/30. I'm running a 285/35. That's what I'm running on the rear. Because the 285/35 gives just a little bit more sidewall. The 30 is just too low profile. And the 30 tire won't fit on an 11-inch rim. A 35 sidewall will fit on an 11-inch rim because it has a little more stretch. There's a little more meat all the way around the tire. And it matches it's only off from the OEM tire like 3 or 4 revolutions per minute. So, which is perfect. It doesn't really throw your speedometer off. The only thing stopping us from lowering the car right now is buying those special tools. And the reason I say that is because I have to spend money to buy those special tools. And right now, all of my money is going towards my private pilot license, which I'm just waiting for an examiner to give me a test date. And then we will knock that out. I'm ready. I've done plenty of practice. I even went and flew last week a couple times, just mock examines, and even refined some things. So I am 100% ready to do the test. We're just waiting for a date for an examiner. And if any of you guys are in aviation, you understand there's a shortage of everything. There's a shortage of pilots, there's a shortage of mechanics, there's a shortage of flight attendants, there's a shortage of examiners. So I'm just kind of waiting on that, which kind of sucks because you do all this flying, bam, 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 and now you're just kind of stuck in a holding pattern, pun intended. Dad jokes, I'm here all week. So once we check that box and that's done, we will make the determination whether we're gonna lower this car or not. I don't know. It looks really good the way it is, and it rides really well, but I keep rewatching videos and pictures of it when it was lowered. It's extra sexy when it's lowered. It gives it just that extra little sexiness. Okay. So that's gonna be the next video. It'll probably be next week. The plugs are coming. They've already shipped, so piece of cake job. It shouldn't take more than an hour, if that. And the only reason it takes that long is because you gotta take the bumper cover and all this stuff off, and the rear wheels. Otherwise, it's a pretty easy job, I think. So we'll take care of that next week. I got another video coming out between now and when we do the plugs. I've already shot the content for it. I'm just adding a little extra piece here and there, a little more content to it, just to refine it and give you a little bit better quality. I think this is one of my better videos. It's not a DIY video, but you'll see when it comes out. Probably, I'll try to make it come out over this weekend, if not Monday. But I want to make sure the video is very good quality and good content before I release it. I don't want to just release a video to release a video. So that video will come out next. Then we'll do the plugs. Then we will talk about lowering the car for sure. And things left to do, DIY for this car. Things that I want to do. Don't have the money for right now, but these are things I want to do. either change the entire front sway bar or just the bushings. We might have to do the whole sway bar if the sway bar has corrosion on it, because then changing the bushings, it's not gonna help because there's too much corrosion around where the bushing is and the sway bar is still just gonna dance. I have a feeling that the sway bar itself needs to be replaced. I don't know yet though, because I haven't taken it off, but that's one thing I'm thinking about. Inner and outer tie rod ends. Well, outer tie rod ends I already did, but I wanna do this again and do the full thing, just to say it's done. So if we decide to lower the car, we may do all of that all together at the same time. Because if we decide to lower the car, we'll have the wheel off, we'll have the strut out of the way, we'll have the front, this is a 4S, so it's all-wheel drive, so the front CV axles technically need to come out. I haven't decided if we're gonna work around them or just pull them out. So they technically need to come out as well. And actually we might pull them out because it just makes life easier. And if we have all that out, then we might as well pull out the sway bar. And if we pull out the sway bar, we might as well do the inner tie rod ends as well, because everything will be exposed and we'll have easy access to everything rather than doing it again at a later time. If we're gonna do all that, you see how the money starts adding up? Inner and outer tie rod end kit. I'd just buy the kit that has everything. It has both tie rods, has the clamps, has the boots, has everything. I'll just buy the kit. The kit's not that bad. It's 100, no, it might be 200 something. So we'll buy the kit. We will definitely have to buy the tool, the special Lyle tool to take off the inner tie rod ends. The outer tie rod ends, hand tools. The inner tie rod end is a special tool to get that off, so I'd have to get that again. But I can get that on Amazon, relatively inexpensive. So we get that. What else do we need? The sway bar. Sway bar is just hand tools, but you think you have to lower the subframe to get the front sway bar off. So yeah, we might remove the CV axle just for that. Not sure. I have to look into it. I've never changed the front sway bar on this car. Rear sway bar, I can take it off in 5 minutes, piece of cake. And the rear sway bar has no corrosion on it, which is surprising. The front sway bar, the only reason I think it might have some corrosion on is because I saw a E46 BMW M3, and the sway bar design was exactly the same as this, where the sway bar bends at the end, comes down, and goes to links, but it goes up and over the front assembly. I already forgot the name of it. Sub-assembly. It goes over that, and the sway bar bushings hold on to it over the front assembly. So when stuff gets kicked up in there, it can't get out. And when they took that sway bar out of that BMW, it was where the bushings were, it was completely corroded because moisture and stuff would get inside the bushings and couldn't escape. The rear sway bar on this car is exposed. And I think that's probably why it's not corroded, is because whatever does get on there can fall out. I don't know. We're gonna investigate this. We're gonna investigate. We might, maybe when we change the spark plugs, maybe we'll just stick a camera up there and look, because we'll have the car up on the quick jacks. So that's the updates. I just wanted to give you some kind of content for my videos, tell you what's coming, what we're gonna do, what the plan is. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging with no video for this week, but we'll have another video coming out soon. All right, that's all I got for now. Enjoy your weekends. Catch you guys next week.